Hello everyone. So as some of you might already be aware, ILoveKimPossibleAlot has made her long-awaited return to YouTube. Most of you probably remember the Saber Spark drama when the YouTuber ILoveKimPossible pushed allegations that Saber Spark was a racist. Her video was incredibly poorly received. Everyone she accused and people she worked with gave their own side of the argument, which debunked these allegations. Saber himself even dropped a response which further gutted the allegations. Well, it appears as though 4 months later, Kim has finally decided to release her response video, and if you expected it to be any good, then clearly you didn't watch her first video. This video is terrible, as she just doubles down on the accusations and just makes up a bunch of other insane claims. So for this video, I'm gonna condense her video down and most importantly make a copy online, as I can guarantee she's gonna take this video down. But before we get into that, make sure to subscribe so that I can feed my starving family. So the video is only like 10 minutes long, but it's full of gold from start to finish, so we're gonna go over all of the highlights present. With that, let's begin.
Hi everyone! Welcome to the video. For those who don't know me, I'm the YouTuber ILoveKimPossibleAlot.
So automatically, this video just looks like shit. She, for whatever reason, uploaded this in 720p, but even beyond that, it looks infinitely more shitty than any 720p video has ever looked. I mean, look, I can practically count all the pixels on screen. Considering this took her 4 months to make, you would think at the very least she could make it look good.
And the association between them that creates a dangerous space for minors to occupy.
Now, some of the stuff she flashes on screen are legit concerns when it comes to DA Games. Obviously, Parlo actually made a good video on what DA Games accusations should look like. And then she throws it up next to like racist stuff he said before. Sorry, but these are vastly different when it comes to levels of if we should care or not. I care way more if DA Games is doing weird shit with kids than if you posted a meme of Kermit as like
The third-party testimony includes accusations of SA from a person named Emily, accusations I platformed on a video that in hindsight wasn't suited for testimony that heavy.
Testimony she helped write, by the way. Don't let her get away with that. She like directly helped write the victim's story, which I personally think is a conflict of interest.
Some other notable issues that were pointed out about my video was the tone. The general consensus was that the tone throughout the video was jokey and that I came across as making light of some serious accusations and conversations.
KP, you included a meme of Sonic the Hedgehog getting peed on or something. Why did you include that in a video on rape allegations? It didn't look like you were making light of the situation. You absolutely were making light of the situation. And according to some of the people who are helping you out with the video, they asked you to remove the jokes and you adamantly refused to do so. I interviewed Pixel, one of the people who was in KP's video, and they provided me with DMs proving as much. Yeah, you knew this wasn't a good idea when you were doing it.
Another thing I'd like to personally address is Courtney Peet and her treatment of another CSA survivor in the live chat of the video premiere. Going forward, since she doesn't want to apologize herself, I'm cutting public ties with her.
So everyone has talked about this point, so I figured I'd ask the same thing. What do you mean by cutting public ties? Does that mean you're still cool with them behind the scenes? Like, this is very specific language to say that you aren't cutting them off entirely. She then calls out DA Games for everything that is and isn't a valid concern. Lolicon is bad, but who gives a fuck if he didn't publicly address a banned? Not even DA Games accusers still hold that accusation against him anymore. But since we're on the topic of DA Games, the accusers against him directly blame KP for fucking up the accusations with her video. But of course, she isn't even gonna dare to talk about that. So now we talk about Chris. The main beef between KP and Chris is that Chris made a bit of a fucked up joke about jerking off onto KP's clothes, which was not demonstrated as a joke before in her original video, but now it is demonstrated as a joke. It was not very clear that it wasn't an actual thing that happened. She wasn't cool with this, obviously, so the two of them had a serious conversation about it, in which Chris apologized for this fucked up joke, and KP seemed to forgive him at least during that call. Then later down the line, she tried to get Chris fired from working with Saber Spark. Saber, of course, didn't fire the guy for obvious reasons, and so KP added Saber into her video of people she hates.
With Chris, Will, or DA Games. And once again, for someone who not very long ago had plenty to say on whether Gabriel Brown was or wasn't a groomer,
it somehow always circles back to Black Griffin. It's actually shocking how they can always bring it back to this. His wife can literally say she wasn't groomed and isn't a victim, and some people just do not care.
And now on to Emily. In regards to Emily's testimony and accusations against Steven, she has released her own video that will be linked in the comments, and I encourage people to go watch it and hear her story from her own mouth.
Now, you could go watch this video by Emmy. You really could. Or you could watch any video debunking her video for being shit. Trust me, KP, Emmy has as much credibility as you do right now.
People who have never spoken to me or heard my side of anything spoke with absolute authority on my intentions and desires.
Alright, so first of all, I made it in the video. Let's fucking go, lads. Second of all, this is a bold-faced lie. I can't speak on Douglas's behalf, but I've heard rumors that you have spoken to Sai before. So that's just not true. And in regards to me, you're right, KP. We haven't spoken before. But that's not for lack of trying. I DM'd you 4 months ago on Twitter, by the way, go follow me, asking directly to speak, which you never answered. I messaged you again 3 days ago, no response. I've commented twice, saying we should speak. No response. So since you've never talked to me, am I now allowed to use that criticism against you if you try to bring me back up? And even beyond that, who gives a fuck if I've spoken to you before or not? Do I have to have a one-on-one convo to point out jokes in a video about allegations probably aren't a good idea? That's an insane thing to say.
This led to a good number of people speaking down to me, harassing me, and sending me death threats largely based on the assumption that I was a bitter, jealous, stupid woman targeting an innocent, successful, intelligent man for the sin of not dating me. To which I'd like to respond by saying, Steven, I'm just not that into you.
Alright, I'm gonna need to reel it back in a little for this one, but first of all, Saber does not want to date you. I have no idea where in your insanely idiotic brain you came up with that idea. But, on the topic of this, KP, you look like the bad guys from the Purge movies. You would be blessed if Saber wanted to date you. Saber is literally getting married and you're sitting here bitter that your accusations didn't work out. You suck, like, so much. You're so terrible.
Steven, however, was given grace, room to respond, and direct personal support from the same people claiming to be an objective voice of reason throughout the situation.
Yeah, because you fucking idiots accused him of a sex crime with no evidence. Saber spent thousands to clear his name. And on top of that, why are you speaking like you give a shit about victims? Do we have to play that audio clip?
The timeline is questionable. The only people that vouched for you were Brony and Amy and Sophie, and Amy won't even fucking talk to me. So I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm being real with you. It's fucked. You're fucked one way or the other. So make a decision soon, or I will publicly confirm it was you. You have 24 hours.
Let's not pretend you care as much as you're trying to sound.
His own admission of trying to force a woman to take a pregnancy test against her will is not seen as a violation of consent, privacy, and bodily autonomy, but instead as a horrible event he was made a victim of by the girl he had targeted.
You know what? You're right, KP. Wanting to know if you got a woman pregnant or not and insisting she take a pregnancy test is such a violation of consent. How dare Saber? Oh, actually, that's not how that works at all. That's actually a totally reasonable thing. In fact, I think it's crazy to blame Saber for this. He wanted to know if he had to worry about a baby. In what world is he the bad guy for that? Maybe if other people in that situation worried about having babies, they wouldn't be teen parents. What do I know, though?
So moving forward, how can we, as the online community, do better?
All right, first of all, just go fuck yourself. Second of all, it's at this point it becomes clear that this isn't an apology. This isn't a response. All it is she's just doubling down on all of her claims. Despite it actually destroying her career, she still is sticking with this narrative. Ironically, the only thing in this entire situation that got ripped is KP's credibility. She ends the video off by showing a photo of her dog, and that's it. So that sucked. 4 months of waiting for that. And to make things better, apparently she's working on another video. So that's going to be fun to cover when it comes out. But yeah, this video sucked. KP is still a shitty person. And I messaged you, KP. Totally down to speak to you. Apparently you want me to. I know friend of the channel, Falgi, wants to speak to you live. So, maybe we can make something happen. But for now, that's everything. If I speak to her live, I'll upload it here or the highlights or whatever. And when her second apology comes out, I'll cover it. But for now, that's everything. Anyway, I don't know. Join the Discord, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe, I guess. It'd be pretty cool. Anyway, I don't know. Later.